Hey, I'm Jamie with Guitarist Magazine, and today we've got the privilege of coming down to Bonhams, the auction house in London, to take a look at this guitar, which is a 1974 Martin 00028. It also has the distinction of having been owned by Eric Clapton, and on top of that, it's also the guitar that he wrote Wonderful Tonight on, one of the great love songs of our time, really. So as this guitar is coming up for sale soon, we took the opportunity to come down, take a close look at it, look at some of its quirks and features, and share a sort of up-close view of this essentially historic guitar prior to it going up for sale at Bonhams. So, as mentioned, this is the guitar that Clapton wrote Wonderful Tonight on, which was a song, a love song really, written for his then girlfriend, Pattie Boyd, and which subsequently became his best-selling single ever. So it's a song that's known by millions, that means a lot to an awful lot of people. And this was the guitar it was written on. And in fact, around that period, the mid to late 70s, this was a guitar that Eric Clapton reputedly wrote an awful lot of songs on. So it's a real kind of wellspring, if you like, of hits and very familiar Clapton tunes. So a very important guitar in its own right. So as mentioned, it's a 00028, which means in Martin terms, it's got a rosewood back and sides and a spruce top. It's got a number of things that aren't standard on 00028s from the period, like the bridge, but we'll come to that in a moment. 000 is one of the kind of earliest 20th century designs that Martin came up with. It was released in 1902 and originally was 15 inches across the lower bout. It's got a relatively shallow body. It's not as big as the dreadnoughts that followed. And it's come to be thought of as a really great bluesy guitar, great fingerpicker's guitar, and partly that's because it has a slightly shorter scale length than some Martin acoustics at 24.9 inches. That stands in contrast to the very similar OM model that has a 25.5 inch scale length. And what that means in practical terms is that for a given string gauge and at standard tuning, it will have slightly less string tension than a guitar with a longer scale length. So those bluesy bends are just a little bit easier to do on. So it's perhaps one of the reasons that Clapton has gravitated to this particular model over the years. With that said, there are some things on this, as mentioned, which are completely unique. So let's have a little look at those now. So the first thing that's worth looking at, that's a little bit special, is the bridge and saddle assembly here. So this is unique to this guitar. It's not something that Martin put on any other guitars, including the Signature Series models that were made for Clapton later on, which is a bridge which features two snowflake inlays either side of the main bridge assembly here. And then it's got three individual saddles which are angled for optimal intonation. So obviously Clapton was anticipating playing this guitar on recordings, maybe even live. Good intonations are obviously key, and so he asked for that to be installed, or Martin has certainly made that for him. So that is something which is completely unique to this guitar. Turning it round here also, on the top edge of the guitar there's this huge sticker really, which is a homage to Don Williams. And it says, "She's in love with a rodeo man." So it's a huge thing. It actually takes up most of the top of the guitar. So it's something Clapton clearly felt strongly about his love of Don Williams. Up at the headstock, there's another kind of hallmark EC kind of thing up here, which is you can see that the fascia of the headstock has actually kind of been burnt slightly, and that's we're told the classic Clapton cigarette under the string thing there. So goodness knows how many cigarettes have smouldered away there whilst he was finding inspiration. Looking elsewhere on the guitar, you can see that it's got very little playware. It's got some little scuffs and things that you'd associate with natural kind of wear and tear of a guitar of this age, which is kind of getting on for 50 years old. And there's a sound hole pickup in here, which sort of indicates that it's being used live as well. And then up at the headstock again, we've got Grovers. So, you know, perhaps another indicator that this isn't your sort of pre-war style 000. It's one that was very much made for a very busy, high-profile professional musician. So as always, it's a real privilege to experience at first hand a guitar that historical music was made on. And this is certainly no exception, especially since the guitar left Eric Clapton's ownership in 1999 when it was auctioned for the Crossroads charity. And it's been largely out of the public eye since then. So you aren't going to get too many chances to get up close with this instrument. So we hope you've enjoyed taking a little whistle-stop tour around it with us today. As mentioned, it is going up for auction again soon at Bonhams in Knightsbridge on the 12th of June. So that's one for any fan of Clapton's to look out for, and we hope you've enjoyed this quick look at a guitar that obviously meant a lot to Eric, that made a song that has meant a lot to millions of people. So thanks very much for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.